Okay, this is a round two. I mean, day two, in which first three games I have already won, which means I'm in the top of the standings. Not too top because there are so many players who were in three by three. So this is the fourth round in which I'm actually facing a other one guy who is 1496, just 100 rating below me, which means I definitely need to win. If I lose, I will lose a bunch of rating, which means I probably need to win probably three or four rounds to recover the rating. Otherwise, if I drew, probably I'll be losing 3 or 4 points. So either way, I need to win. So let's start the game. Wait a minute, what is going on? He started with e4. I went for pick defense just to make sure the game goes with a huge middle game. d4, knight f6, knight c3. These are standard. g6 is also standard. f4. F4 is actually an Austrian attack. What people generally do is generally the main lines are knight f3, bishop f4, bishop c4. Anything's fine. Okay, f4 is kind of aggressive. Bishop g7, nf3, nf3 is okay. F c5. c5 is kind of necessary. Otherwise, he'll be probably pushing the pawn. Takes, knight takes, or yeah, something will be complex, but his pawns will be kind of good. Yeah, the game just goes like I will be probably breaking the c5 anyways. So why not go for c5 right now? Actually, the c5 is I learned it from the king scene in defense that this is a theory. Uh, Here my opponent played bishop e3. Bishop e3 is a bad move. He should have gone for the take. Bishop takes pawn. I would go for queen a5. Now bishop d3. Now queen to c5. After this, actually, engine has some kind of moves. Queen e2, yeah, castle or something. Yeah, these are natural moves. But this is how I should people play. Here, actually, your opponent can take the pawn. My knight will be jumping here, so which means my his knight is under attack by three pieces, which is really hard. Actually, he can try bishop d7, but I can simply take this pawn, or I can also take this knight. But I won't be doing this. The reason is you don't want to take this pawn. Knight c6 is better. The reason you don't want to take this pawn because his queen will be jumping here, sacking the rook. You take the rook, bishop g4 check. You'll be losing the queen instantly. Moreover, you don't have much pieces to defend your king also. So this is one of the line which you really don't want to go. Moreover, the reason actually I don't know up to the queen. Anyway, I'm not going to take the rook because for the uh, check on b5. So this doesn't make sense. The reason is your king is kind of jammed, right? All you need to do is if the rook swing here, your game is almost checkmated. So this is one of the reasons you are not going to take this pawn. But this is how the actual variation goes. So there are so many lines here. Hmm. He went for bishop d3. This is bishop e3. This is a movement I know. This guy have no idea how the opening was. He's simply actually improving his pieces. That's what actually he's doing. I took the pawn. It take with the knight. I castled uh, queen d2. Actually, what I actually thought the process of queen d2 is he probably might be pushing f5 in the future, and f5 bishop h6 might be the plan. So either way, anyway, if he's going for f5 push, he should be probably going for triple zero first. So there are so many moves to execute this one. So either way, this is not a much stronger move for white. That is why probably the evaluation says minus 0.3. Knight c6. The idea of knight c6 is not just for development. Actually, this structure actually is giving you some kind of Sicilian dragon setup. Once you take a knight, anyway, once he played queen d2, his plan is probably triple zero, right? So I can go for rook b8, queen b6 in the future or something. Queen b6, queen a5. Anyway, I can actually create some kind of queen set attack, so he can actually take this knight easily. Moreover, he can push and go for bishop h6. Otherwise, his knight will be hanging. Once he took the knight, I can take this bishop or something like that. So even for bishop c4, I thought it's a really bad move. The reason is, firstly, you have no idea what is he actually doing. Simply, actually, in the name of improvement, he's just putting all the pieces outside. What I should do is I just took the pawn. He, after a long think, he took the knight. Actually, what I was thinking was, he will take the knight first. Queen, yeah, bishop takes f7. I saw this move. Rook takes, knight takes, attacking the rook. Knight, oh, knight c5. Yeah, knight c5. Knight takes rook. Like, oh, this one is right. Yeah. So these lines, I did see these lines, but the problem is, yeah, there is no problem. Okay, okay, I was scared about these lines by the way, because I was not sure, because when you are just thinking from this position, this is kind of hard, right, to imagine everything. So probably I thought I was actually missing something or something. So yeah, there are so many variations. Okay, knight takes. This is actually losing on the spot because this knight will be trapped, which means you definitely need to give this f7. So another move which I saw is uh oh, okay I always have okay I always had this move option. Okay, this one is for forced. Okay, right. Or I also had bishop f6, right? Yeah. Yeah, I saw this variation also for backup plan. If my knight takes queen is bad, if I think it's bad, I had this backup plan. So I was thinking in this after playing knight e4. I didn't think everything before. I just saw, okay, this variation might be going complex. He just took the knight. Okay, which is the best move according to the engine. So but the problem is, I have d5 take this piece again. The what I thought he would be doing is, I thought he would be taking the knight. Knight takes 6, BC, V takes 6, probably bishop. Uh, I think knight c4 is also better, right? What's the variation? Pawn takes c6. So, firstly, my pawns are weak. This is what I thought. Firstly, my pawns are weak. Secondly, his pawn structure is good. Maybe I might be a pawn up, but this is a double pawn. So, I thought this is kind of game 0 or game, yeah, game was equal. But according to the engine, it is strong. Okay, I understood. The reason is my bishop is swinging in the future, so maybe covering many paths. By the way, I have double bishop. That is a major advantage. Double bishop is always good at the end game, right? So that is one of the reason engine says it is actually kind of good. But what is the actual engine plan is triple zero. I didn't see it on the board. Triple zero queen c7 takes. So these are kind of insane. I didn't see this much because we are playing a 30 plus 30 game. We are not actually playing a 90 plus 30 game. We need to make moves quickly, right? Bishop b3. Bishop b3 actually kind of a human move. Actually, I did expect knight takes c6 first, but I think he doesn't want to give that. He doesn't want me. He doesn't want to give double bishop. I think that is one of the reasons he went for bishop b3. Uh, I went to pawn takes knight because I was on the one piece down trade. He dribbles. This is a huge blunder. Actually, what he missed, what he thought is, I'll be going for. I'll be going for knight takes knight, bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes. This probably should be there. This game is equal. Even if my pawn of this game should be equal because his bishop is really strong. But what he missed is, when he was actually thinking for a long time, I noticed something. My bishop can actually go here and stop his queen side cancelling, and like I can force him to go for king side. Something like that actually for yeah, you'll be thinking many ideas, right? So this is one of my idea. It's not an actual idea, but I knew there is a move known as bishop b4. Once he did was triple zero. This is kind of shocking to me. The reason is now I have his bishop b4. In this scenario, his knight will be going here. So I don't want the queen exchange, or so this doesn't make sense. So what I thought was, okay, go for knight takes knight, bishop takes knight. Now bishop b4. The problem is he can simply take bishop takes knight, bishop. So if I go for bishop takes rook, he will go for queen takes queen, rook takes queen. He will simply release the bishop. Uh, yeah, something's going wrong here. Bishop e4, bishop takes bishop, uh, bishop takes rook, or bishop takes rook, queen takes queen. Oh, overall I'm a piece down. Okay, I didn't see this much, but I'm pretty sure the game was equal at the time. So that is one of the reason I didn't go for. Okay, I didn't put so much more weightage on knight takes. before. I thought this move was perfect initially, but something got stricken. So if I take this knight, bishop is here, right? So bishop is actually attacking this one. That is the problem. Then what if I take this knight with the bishop first? Takes no bishop before. Now there's no attack here. So he went for queen c3. Queen c3, I didn't miss it, but actually this doesn't do anything much. What I should, if I can go for knight takes bishop, it'll be go for rook takes knight. So what is the plan is bishop h8, queen g7 checkmate, or bishop g7, bishop h8, queen g7 checkmate. So these are the plans he was actually having. But the problem is it doesn't actually work because if he goes for bishop h8, I can simply go for e5 and stop everything. So, which means I can simply take this rook. Even for bishop g7, I did expect it. Bishop rook e8, rook takes bishop, and for queen a5, which actually forces queen off the board. If he actually give me the queen, I'm clearly winning because I'm in a solid solid exchange of right. So he tried desperately something like queen c4, trying to crash my kings. And I simply took this piece, crashed it. G4 plan is actually trying to play f5 takes and rook here and queen here checkmate. So but there are too many moves out there. So I can simply go for rook d8 trying to exchange everything. Rook takes c4 c3. The move there's a c3 because he wants to avoid the checkmate. But the thing is now he can actually still he can avoid it. So there are some kind of checkmate sequence he can't escape for a long time. So he simply resigned. So I was actually 4 by 4. Now at round number 5, I was playing at round number 4. I was playing at board number 10. At round number 5, I was playing board number 1. This is the most interesting. But even I was not even the rank 1 or something. So I was actually probably rank 5 or something. Yeah. So in this scenario, I never expected I will be playing on the board number 1. So this guy is Fani Kanwari. He was high rated. This was the first high rated which I was meeting in the tournament. But more, if you actually see the tournament standings, there are only 20, not even 20, 19 players who are actually higher rated than me. So it's really hard for me to get an higher rated where there are actually 300 players. In which probably more than 200 players are low rated and some are unrated players. So okay, so here I want if I win this game probably I might be rank number 1 or something. So I can play the round number 6 casually. Okay, I didn't concentrate on the results much, but I just want to play a good game. I opened with e4, d6. I was actually kind of happy because I used to play d6 against lower rated players. So I thought, okay, I am at yeah, I always know almost most of the theory. I mean, not actually by studying because whenever you get defeated by the black side, you will know the theory, right? So I always know few steps. So I went for d4, nf6, um, nf3, e5. E5. This is the part I sense that this guy is an endgame player. If I take this pawn takes, queen takes, king takes. So once the queen's off the board, I really don't play well. Even if it is a plus position for me, I used to scramble the position so quite easily. So I do have some kind of problems in it. So I don't want to go into that. Okay, so what I actually thought was, even if you actually exchange the queens, if he's actually playing this move in this level against a low rated, this is not some kind of surprise to me. I mean, he's not trying to surprise me or something. He's just actually triggering me to take the queen. What I'm actually saying is, this case actually survived 4 rounds, which means he actually already faced 2 blacks, in which he probably would have played this one. And if you are in a 1,000 rating, so this doesn't make any sense, right? You can actually go in the top level without actually preparing some kind of advanced lines in these parts. So once after exchanging the queens, you might play something normal, but this guy is probably winning. The reason is this guy actually probably actually played this type of lens probably thousands of times. So if you're trying something, then means you'll be playing as a noob against this player because you won't be actually much experienced. Me, no matter how strong your middle game is, your experience won't be matching his. No matter what type of question is, he probably might have already seen. He probably might know how to handle that, but you probably won't. So it is always better not to go for this one. Seven for f4. He took the pawn. I took the queen. He played knight c6. Here's a huge confusion. Do I really make the queen come back to d1 or a5? A5 is actually some kind of Scandinavian defense in which probably black will be playing like that. So I wasn't even sure whether it's correct or not. I don't want to lose much of time in move number 5. I just went for a gamble and just went for queen a4. I know it's something it was kind of dubious. Okay. He went for bishop e7, knight f3, castle, bishop e3. Generally, I will go for bishop c4 quick defense, but in bishop c4 doesn't make any sense because there's nothing here. Knight d7 was kind of. I thought it was kind of. Yeah, I don't know. It was so surpriseful. I never seen the I never actually expected this one. What I actually expecting was expected bishop g4 because to come to get bishop back or bishop e7 to trap my queen or something like that. So he went for knight e7. We plan is come to knight c4, knight e5. Engine wants to go for bishop e3 takes. Okay, I didn't even consider this variation. Please don't ask me why. I'm just seeing this now. I didn't even consider this variation. So what I thought was, yeah, I just want to keep the double bishop as far as possible, maybe. But I didn't even look at this variation. Maybe I may be since maybe I may be new to this question or something. I don't know why I didn't even notice this line. 7 for knight d5, even for knight c5, queen here takes. Yeah, here I could have gone for queen takes. Just supporting the pawn, probably castle, rook e1 or castle. I mean, castle, bishop e2, rook, this rook e1. So here I thought, okay, why not I should make this position actually more trickier. And for cd3, rook e1, bishop e2, bishop f6, triple zero. Generally, probably people for takes or something like this. Yeah. But this doesn't work actually. Yeah, takes castle is also good. Maybe hanging this pawn or queen b3 is also fine. So or queen with no queen c2 is much better after knight takes bishop. So I thought okay, let's try to complicate the position. Triple zero, bishop e6. Here I was forced to play king b1. Actually, this is a top engine move. King b1 is an engine move. Actually, what I was actually planning is let me switch off the engine. What I was actually thinking, I thought for a long time, but I was really forced to play king b1. What I really thought was go for g4. Let him take this pawn. Now play rook g1. Let me sack this knight again. Now take this knight takes bishop. 4 king and rook. I mean king and rook. He needs to take the queen takes knight. So bishop c3. I thought queen e7 is a move. Actually, this is a huge advantage. So sorry. Actually, this rook will be coming here, going for a checkmate sequence. So I know this position is actually kind of advantage. Yeah, queen e6, queen e6. Uh, so I just knew this position was some kind of advantage. So I don't know. I don't think much. But the reason I didn't think much because he had queen takes e4 as a check. If this is not a check, let's say I'm going here. He plays something like this. So this game is zero again, right? So yeah. So the problem is I'm giving us a check and I'm also losing a pawn. That is the problem. Otherwise, I would have gone for the b4 variation for sure. So king b1, I was forced. If you had given me some kind of more like a4, b4 takes. Oh, I'm still losing the pawn. That is the problem, huh? Okay, I didn't see much. Hmm. Yeah, it's kind of hard to calculate on both sides, but this game is kind of tricky. This is definitely tricky. Oh, it's a checkmate. Hmm. Okay, I didn't. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, even if you can see it, probably you won't be seeing it 30 plus 30. That is insane. So even for bishop d5 and queen takes a4, b4, I mean a5, g4, knight here takes. The reason I took because this bishop was actually practically doing nothing and this is not going to do any good in the future. b4. Yeah, now I had the queen takes pawn. So what I was actually calculating is queen takes pawn, queen d7, rook c1, this rook here probably breaks, queen g4, takes. I don't know what was actually going on going on right. So so this what I was actually thinking. I also considered this one. Okay, this one is actually didn't work. Okay, queen takes pawn, queen g4. This I feel this one is actually kind of tricky. The reason is my pawns are too weak. You go for bishop f1. So I'm two pawn up, right? So I don't know what I was actually thinking, but I thought this is actually kind of too risky. Mm. So moreover, actually, I probably would have taken this if he had some kind of equal time. I was probably having 12 minutes, and this guy was having actually probably 21 minutes. So yeah, if I go for take this pawn and actually if I miss some kind of calculation, then means my opponent queen will be on g4, right? I couldn't actually calculate perfectly, and I don't want to waste time in the future also. So I just went to simply knight e4. Actually, here I should push pawn push. Again, he's having queen d7, queen g4. I don't know what was actually going on. I was not scared of anything or something like that. I just wanted to spend a bunch of time in the future because I was already down 7 to 8 minutes. More of this just a fifth round. Just because I won all the four rounds, I was not actually forced to win this one. If this is probably a eighth round or ninth round, I probably push for a win. And for 94, c6, queen b3, queen a5, knight c4, takes. Yeah, well, actually here should have h4, h5, h6. Probably I should have gone for this, but I thought h4, h5, yeah, h4, h5, g6 is kind of slow. So I just went for knight h4. The reason is I just want to push this pawn takes, and probably he takes this bishop. Now this file is open, right? Maybe I can do something or I can't do something. I don't know, but I just want to try something like this. He went for queen a4. This is the moment I know, okay, if I ask for a draw, probably he is going to agree. So I went for f5, takes. The reason I didn't take the queen because I don't want this open file. Probably he's going for, once I take, he'll be taking this one and he's going for the rook, double rook stack. I don't want to go in this type of variation, in which means in the future he'll be playing g6 and bishop g7, and there will be so much pressure. Their game might be equal, but you don't want to go into that. So I just push it, takes g6, f6, h6 takes. These are all fours. There's nothing I can do basically. If I can do something, I can actually give a pawn for free. Yeah, rook takes also forced. The reason rook takes is forced because once I took this pawn, he'll be putting a double stack and he'll be hitting this pawn again. So rook takes is forced. So here I asked the draw. The reason I asked this draw because firstly his king can escape. I thought king f8, rook h1, rook h8 is made. No, king f8, rook h1, king e7, rook h8, king e6. So the king is escaping, which means the king can come out. Can my king come out? That is a really good question. Let's say he's actually pushing the pawn or something. Not now. Yeah, let's say king f1, king f3. I don't know. I just don't want to risk it. Hmm. What I should thought was if he actually managed to push this pawn and he managed to put a rook on c line, my king will be stuck forever. So I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know. I was actually imagining some stuff which is not realistic. So I just asked for a draw and I agreed for it. Moreover, I don't think I can actually push this game to win. That doesn't make any sense, right? So we jump into round six. Here there was a round once on A3. The this is the funniest part of the game. This guy is probably 11 years old and is the highest rated in the tournament. Uh, Actually, that's not an issue. I'm not actually scared of that. We were actually sitting and we were actually chatting. Yeah, we were in the top seat, right? I was in the top seat, sixth board. Since I actually drew the game in the first board, I was jumped to the sixth board. What actually happened was this guy was actually sitting simply. There were my friends who was actually playing in a board number five and board number four. I was just chatting against them. They literally asked me, "Do you have any blitz rating in the leeches?" I told them, "Yeah, I probably have 2150, and it might be reduced to 2100. I don't remember." So this guy should have kept quiet. What he actually told me is, "Yeah, I have 2000. I mean, I have 2400." Okay, that's fine. Good for you. But what he actually next says, brother, 2400 easy, bro. Why don't you go and get it? This is something kind of triggering, right? So what is actually trying to do is actually trying to scare me off such that I might be scared and I might give the game for free. So I literally got angry, but I didn't show anything. But I'm pretty sure I don't care whether I'm losing or winning, but I am going to give him a huge headache. That is the first thing which actually struck my mind. So the game actually started with e4. I went for e5, f3 9 c6 bishop c4, which is my favorite opening from white. I went on bishop c5, c3, and f6. Yeah, this is a scenario. Actually, what he actually trying, he actually firstly played d4, and here he was actually holding the coin. He didn't actually leave the coin. What I did is I just took the pen far quickly. I mean, denoting that I knew this variation pretty strong. And my profile is actually good. Yeah, in the last five rounds, I won four rounds and I just drew only one round, right? So this guy should drew two rounds. Actually, I'm actually four and a half. This guy was only 4 points out of five rounds. So he thought for while we're holding it, he thought he read me and he just played d3. The reason I took the pen quick is actually that's line as it takes e5 d5 takes rook g1 and knight no, castling castling bishop e6 knight g5 queen d5 uh, rook e1 something not rook e1 knight x6 fe6 bishop h6. So there are so many lines here. Sometimes the around the c3 there'll be a knight here. So there are few lines. But the thing is, I always get the advantage. But I never won a single game in the online. So I don't want to go in this variation. But even if we went in the variation, even if I lose, probably I might learn something. So yeah, either way, I might learn things, right? So this is what I thought initially. Um, yeah. So once I did this quite quickly, he thought he read me and he played d3. Actually, no, I didn't trick him psychologically. I mean, he didn't trick me psychologically. I'm the one who was actually tricking him from the beginning. I went for d6, h3. H3 made sure that he probably never played this opening or he is not actually familiar with this one. Castle, bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, a6. Probably if I was him, I should have gone for bishop b3, bishop e3, bishop c2 would be good. I mean, bishop c2 would be good. So he went for b4, bishop a7, knight e2, bishop e6, g4. That doesn't make any sense. So from the beginning, I told right, he's trying to scare me off. So now, Asha, I'm a really good middle game player. I'm pretty sure I'm much stronger than these players. These people don't know just because they just see my rating 1596 and they assume that I'm a weaker player. No, that's not the issue. I'm good with the middle game. So what I did was I just took this bishop. Uh, yeah, what I should have done is I should have gone for I should have gone for queen e7, queen e6, and I should just take the knight. So instead, I just went for knight g5. Yeah, this should work, I think. Yeah, this should work. I told you right. This should work. This should also work. Yeah, game still zero. That's my point. So I can play any position, but I don't know what I was thinking. Probably I think I was tired because this is a day two last round. I was tired. So I just went g4. He sacked the knight. This is a really bad move, especially when you're not having bishop on many pieces. I should probably take this knight and pawn takes, bishop takes, king g7, rook h8, queen is queen e7, queen e6, or knight. Yeah. What my friend told me is bishop takes king g7, h4, rook h8, queen f3, queen e6, king d2, knight d8, h5, knight e6 or something. Just kick this one out. I mean, not at this scenario, but these are the ideas. Knight d8, knight 96, trying to kick his bishop. So there are some kind of ideas here. So probably I should even be pushing this one. Queen e7 triple zero makes sense as a human play. Queen e6 also makes sense. Taking the knight out. You probably go for queen. So yeah, either way, I can survive this question. I'm pretty sure. But if I go this one, actually, if my intuition is wrong, I'll be losing so much of time, especially at 30 plus 30. We were having probably were having 17 minutes each. The time was actually balanced, but I don't want to go in the relation, so I just gave a return sack. So, but the problem is this game is even more trickier than expected. Queen d2, f6. F6 was a huge blunder. Oh, here it says I was actually too tired in playing this one. The reason is if I did see this move, he'll be taking this one, takes, queen e7 or something like this. This is actually winning for me. Uh, yeah, actually I should simply take this knight. If you play h5. So either way, his knight is kind of hanging. So he needs to move this knight. Now I can play. I think f6. Now it's f6 fine. No, f6 is not fine. But no, I don't know. I don't know what I will have played. But I know d5 is a strong move. D5 is a perfect move. The what I actually thought is I thought d5 knight takes, and I also thought I'm giving this pawn also. For some reason, I thought that. I don't know why I thought that. So yeah, I was too tired, and I just missed many basic moves. I played f6. He went for h4, queen d2. So the reason is I can try it for queen, king f7, rook h8 or something like this, but I'll get crashed because once pawn takes pawn, queen takes pawn, everything is crashing, and this rook is flowing like anything. And moreover, knights are not so bad, but better than my knight. So what I thought was okay, we are not going to defend. If we are losing, we are going to lose by attacking. He went for triple zero. This is a really bad move. But I understood his idea. Actually, context one is the best move. Triple zero, queen takes pawn. What he thought was his rook will be flowing here. Actually, he's right. Let me show you. So what he thought was now he can play rook here and he might give a sack and crash my position. But I had a brilliant move. I had queen f4 and forcing a trade on the queens. So on moreover, knight is hanging. That's a different story. So he played queen e2. Okay, and for queen f4 check, knight e3, push the pawn. He missed it while he's playing casually on triple zero. Knight d2. Knight d2 actually looks kind of sensible to me. Actually, he's just putting so many pressure here. And for f8, the thing is he can actually go for f3. Otherwise, his knight is hanging by bishop and queen. The one other reason he actually went for triple zero because once I took this knight and let's say it's actually taking the pawn, takes, or rook takes or something. This if file is too weak, so maybe he might be scared of something. He didn't want to actually calculate much. He just want to put some time pressure. Yeah, I just wanted psychology. That's the point. You can't actually. Firstly, you don't mess with man's ego, right? So you don't tell a person you are just a. Why don't you get to 2,500? That's too easy. Firstly, you don't tell them. Secondly, you don't try to scare them or you don't try to play someone's psychology unless you really don't knew about them. Or you need to have some kind of confidence that you will be falling for that. I am already having some kind of great profit from for up to round 5 and he's actually doing some kind of nonsense here. This might actually work with many players but just not me because I used to do this type of tricks to so many people from my childhood. So even for 93, yeah, g4. Here king h8 is the only move. Not, I didn't consider king h7 for some reason. I don't remember. If you played king h7 is really bad. Yeah. So the reason I'm saying it's bad because you can simply take this knight or yeah, there are so many sacrifice. This pawn will be weak. If you sacrifice this pawn, yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to give his piece for 2 pawns, which means my kings will be crashing. Moreover, this pawn will be passing like anything. So yeah, uh, I just don't want to be in that type of scenario. And king is and I don't know where this king is actually running. So yeah, let's go for king h8. If you're losing, we'll be learning something. That's it simple, right? And moreover, you won't be losing much of rating. It's already more than 100 or 200 points. Yeah, you won't be losing much rating. So what's the issue? Knight is makes sense, right? His knight will be jumping here and c7. He could have gone directly, but he'll be losing this pawn. So that is one of the reason. One reason he played rook here. I went for this one, stopping this rook h1. I have no idea why he did it. I still have no idea. And was c4. Okay, what is the point of c5? How did I find c5? Let me show you. The here actually from here itself, I was actually thinking of sacking the knight and probably developing the bishop and giving a checkmate. But the thing is, it was too long. He has so many defense, and yeah, I don't think this one actually worked. So if I couldn't sack the knight, can I actually exchange this pawn by putting a pawn here or say or something such that I can open this file? If I open this file, I'm winning for easily. I'm already winning because he can do anything on the king side. So if I crash this queen side, everything's done. So if I take this, if you take this pawn, probably he should have done. My bishop will be activated too easily, and yeah, taking this pawn, my bishop is activated too easily. So my queen will be flowing on the queen side. So he didn't take the pawn. He pushed it. The now he can push it because the bishop is no longer covering this one. I took this I took this pawn. Now knight is under huge attack. Knight g2, queen h6. This is the only move. I don't have much. I don't have any other move. Okay, I did have this one, but this one kind of risky, and I don't have any plan on that because moreover this queen is actually pinning this knight, right? So yeah, I just want to keep the queen here. Here I push this pawn. Now this pawn is really too dangerous. If this knight goes somewhere like this, there's already always a fork after queen here or something. So this will be too dangerous. Moreover, he can't actually keep this rook and exchange this one because my bishop is too strong. So he is literally in a very bad position. He literally begged me for a draw over 100 times because he knows he was losing very badly. I didn't give him because I don't care even if I'm losing. I'm not giving because he already messed with my ego. You don't mess with a man's ego unless you yeah, you never mess with a man's ego, any man's ego. Knight f3, rook a8, knight g5, take the pawn. Ah, okay. What I thought was okay, another free pawn, take this pawn, attack the queen, and get this knight here, or probably do anything. But what I actually missed is he can simply take this rook. I was too tired, right? I'm already playing some kind of sloppy games. He just took the rook, take the queen, knight f7, king g7, queen knight takes h6. So now I just lost the pawn which I gained. But the point is, actually my pawn is actually going too strong. Firstly, secondly, the two pawns are outside parts are really good. He's having one person which is actually doing nothing. So if actually doing some, if I'm actually giving so much pressure, which means his rooks are kind of jammed, still jammed. So I noticed this one. I went for a knight here. My major for my plan is if it is something like h3 or h4, I can simply sack this and just push this pawn. This is one of my plan. Moreover, knight takes pawn is a check, so he definitely needs to cover this one. So he went here. So yeah, now I'm trying to desperate to move this one. Right now, it's actually I'm actually having a bishop for a rook, but my position is too good. Yeah, I was lucky because I was actually having several pawns up, right? Yeah, two pawns up. So that's a really good compensation, unknowingly. So knight g2, bishop f7. The reason I play bishop f7, this is the only piece which was active. Okay, deactivated. Throw it inside. Okay, he came here. I went for a6. Why do you want to give a open hand? You might take this pawn, but there's no check. I can actually do something. Why do you really want to give that one? What I should expect whether he will be playing a3 to break this one and he'll coming inside, but he didn't do it. Okay. He went for king e2 and for rook g4. The rook g4 idea was I don't know what was the idea. Okay, I know the rook g4 idea. Rook g4 idea was just to push this pawn in the future. So this will be good. Right now I can't push this one because the knight is covering this one. So this is one of the idea for rook g4. Even for rook d1, actually this guy actually doesn't have any idea. All these pieces jam. He can't actually do anything except moving his rook or yeah, doing something insane. Uh, even for knight e1, I pushed this pawn. He took it. Yeah, engine says takes. Either way, this one is just pushing up. After knight takes, yeah, I'll be getting. Yeah, my position is very strong. There's a knight takes f3. Yeah, that's it done. Mm. Okay, this is winning. I'm a piece up. So yeah. Yeah, anyway, this one is such a winning. I'm pretty sure it. Knight takes g2, rook takes knight, king even trying to take one of the piece, but it's not possible. I can simply protect this rook with the pawn and put out the bishop with the rook. Yeah, everything is kind of coordinated. So he actually this kind of logical. He's trying to put this pressure more on the bishop. And for knight g4, covering this bishop. So he went for rook e2. Firstly, he's trying to come inside. Secondly, if I take this one, he will be taking this one. And I will be playing knight bishop against rook. That was also winning, by the way. But why do you want to play like that? That's the question, right? So actually, you yeah, this is also not a problem. I can simply do this. I'm winning either way. So I thought this is the best move. The reason it's the best move because that's a huge mating sequence. Firstly, this is a checkmate if there's no rook. So he was supposed to take. So now his queen can't go anywhere. He just pushed it. I took this one. There's a mate in one. Now he obviously resigned because there's nothing to do, right? This guy asked probably 50 to 70 times for a pure losing position. I didn't give it. I even if I losing even if I lose the game, I don't care. But I'm not going to give him a draw just because for the ego clash. Yeah, I'll be covering the last three rounds tomorrow. By the way, right now I was actually for day two I was actually 5 off out of 6, which means I was actually in rank 2 or rank 3 because only rank 2 only one guy was actually for 6 by 6. That the second rank was me, which was 5 off. Yeah, there was few players who were in 5 off probably 3 or 4. Yeah, but the competition was too little for getting a title. So the only target was the guy who was in 6 by 6. So yeah, I'll cover everything tomorrow by the way.